Hello everybody, it's Vertical Sandwich. Welcome back to Book Reviews. So today, I was going to do two more reviews after this one, but I'm starting to get a headache, so I think I'm going to call it for the day. Let me see if I can move a little closer here. So, what we're going to do to finish the day is the 1982 winner, Downbelow Station. Boom. By c.j.cherryh. Now, the back cover has this like barcode on it, so you'll have to forgive that I can't read the full description. Alright, the Beyond started with the stations orbiting the stars nearest Earth. The great circle the interstellar freighters traveled was long but not unmanageable, and the early stations were emotionally and politically dependent on Mother Earth. The Earth Company, which ran this immense operation, reaped incalculable profits and influenced the affairs of nations. Then came Pell, the first station centered around a newly discovered living planet. The discovery of Pell's world forever altered the power balance of the Beyond. Earth was no longer the anchor which kept this vast empire from coming adrift, the one living mote in a sterile universe. But Pell was just the first living planet. Then came Cytine, and later others, and a new frightening different society grew in the farthest reaches of space. The importance of Earth faded and blah blah blah. Smaller profits as the economic focus of space turned probably away from the powerful Earth fleet. Oh wait, no, Earth. Yeah, no, it says something that turned away. The powerful Earth fleet was still a presence in the Beyond, and Pell Station was to become the last stronghold in a titanic struggle between the vast dynamic forces of the Rebel Union and those who defended Earth's last desperate grasp for the stars. So the way that this has happened is economically, all the space stations between like this outworld area and Earth have kind of collapsed economically because it's easier to travel vast distances. But then way out past Earth's reach, these societies have unionized around the planet Cytine. This book happens in the same universe as the novel Cytine, but earlier. And then that union starts fighting a military campaign against Earth and is trying to take all the stations and just isolate Earth by itself. Earth can go, to the dogs, and they don't care. They just want space. And there's this Earth fleet that's still reasonably powerful and allied with Earth that is desperately trying to come up with a way to kind of save these things. And during the course of this novel, Pell becomes the last station that isn't taken over, and it orbits a living planet with these aliens called the Hisa, or the Hissa. They're kind of chimpanzee-esque. They could talk. Yeah. So, it's all about that. It's all about this fleet, and then the station, and then the oncoming union, the station kind of worrying about what's going to happen to it if these people take over. Kind of these other stations, these neighboring stations being destroyed, and them kind of worrying about that. And then kind of what's going on this planet, and what's going on with the aliens who are on the station, so on and so forth. So, let's read a section of this, and then we'll talk about it. Oh, you know what? I actually, lost my spot where I was reading this. But whatever, we'll find something. But I want to find something from the point of view of the Hisa. No. Here we go. Men with guns. Keen ears could still pick up the shouts outside. The terrible fighting, sat and shivered at a crash against the wall, trembled, finding no reason for this thing that happened, but that Lucas's had done this, and Lucas's gave orders, in power in the up above. Bluetooth hugged her, whispered to her, urged her, and she came, as silently as the others. The whispers of bare Hisa feet passed above them below. They moved in dark, a steady flow. They dared no lights, which might guide men to find them. Some were ahead of them, some behind. Old One himself led, the strange Hisa, who had come down from the high places and commanded them without telling them why. Some had lingered, fearing the strange ones, but there were guns behind, and mad humans, and they would come in haste very often. A human voice ran out far below in the tunnels, echoing up. Bluetooth hissed and pushed, moved faster in his climbing, and sat and scampered along with all her might, heated by this exertion, her fur damp and her hands sliding on the rails where others had grasped them. Hurry! A hiss of voice whispered at once of the levels high in the up above the dark places, and hands urged them up still another climb, where a dim light shone, making a silhouette of a Hisa who waited there. A lock set and tugged her mask into place, and scrambled up to the doors, caught Bluetooth's hand for fear of losing him where old one should lead. The lock received them. Okay, I'm done. And this is the thing. This is why I'm done. I hated this book. Hated it. I loved Sci-Teen. I thought there were some problems with the end of Sci-Teen, but I really liked it. I thought it had great characters. I thought it was very inventive. I thought it was original. I really cared about things that were happening. This book has nothing. Like, it has nothing. And here's the thing, is I'm not gonna trash this book in a way that I trash some books, where I say, like, oh, this book is boring, you probably shouldn't read it. Like, here's the thing, this is a bad book. Like, it's a bad book. I don't understand why this got a Hugo Award. Reading this book made me a little angry. And one of the things that made me angriest, it's not, like, the reviews on the back say that the characters are imaginative and they're sympathetic and they're wonderful. They're not. They're not. There's nothing about the characters in here that makes you care about them or understand them at all. And they're humans. They should be relatable humans. But, like, you don't get any kind of sense of who these people are or what they want or what they need. And, like, you don't feel for them when they lose stuff or when they fail. And you don't root for them when they seem like they might not win. And, like, when they win, you don't cheer with them. Like, none of that stuff happens. This is just information. It's just a book about a boring space battle. But what makes me maddest about this book is that what this author came up with for how to write aliens was they're just like people but dumber. Like, that's a cardinal sin in science fiction, right? Like, how do you come up with that bad a solution to writing aliens? I mean, I'm not expecting everybody to be Werner Vinge. Like, I'm not. Or Orson Scott Card. Like, I'm not expecting that. But magazine sci-fi in the 50s should have produced this depiction of aliens. But not a book from 1982. 1982 knew better. And again, I loved Sci-Teen. I'm not saying that this author is a bad author, but this is a poor work of. This is a poor craftsmanship piece of. I mean, this is just not. It's not enjoyable. It's not at all. It's everything I don't like about science fiction. Like, it just doesn't have robots. If it had robots, it would just be the total package of just stuff I'm just not thrilled about. Now, aside from Isaac Asimov robots, because he has a real sense of humor about it, it's funny. But yeah, I mean, it's not like there's just everything is bad about it. Everything is bad about it. You're just like, oh, is Pell gonna fall? Who cares? Who cares? What's the ultimate answer? Is Pell gonna fall? Like, I don't know, maybe. Like, maybe. Who's gonna take it over? Who's gonna run it? Who cares? Who cares? The same characters I don't care about are just going to be there regardless. If the bad guy whose name I can't remember wins, great. If the good guy whose name I can't remember wins, fine. Seriously. It was that bad. It was that bad. I had to trudge through this book. I hated it. Hated it. Just detested it. Just kept waiting for it to get good and it just never did. Never did. And yeah, the aliens are awful. They're awful. They're so bad. They're so dumb. They're so dumb. And you're just supposed to go with that. You're just supposed to go with, like, these things have mastered a language and they don't have, like, any kind of rich spirituality or history. Okay. Great. Sure. Fine. Like, yeah, and that's it. That's it. That's what I have to say about this. It was not a good book. It wasn't a good book at all. Like, it's not. I mean, again, unless you're married to, like, reading the entire list of Hugo Award winners like I am, pass. Seriously, pass. Like, this book is not. I didn't like any aspect of this book whatsoever. And again, I loved Sci-Teen, which is mind-boggling to me. Like, it is absolutely mind-boggling that the person who wrote Sci-Teen also wrote this. She wrote this, and It's not. I mean, it's just not. Sci-Teen is like hundreds of pages longer than this and was easier for me to finish. Because Sci-Teen's great. But this was just like rehashed. This actually feels like somebody took a vacation, like just pumped out a book. Like just went, oh, I need a book? Okay, like let me not think about this at all. Dumb aliens, intergalactic war, space station, like boom. Are we good? And some publisher went, yeah, whatever. Like that's what I mean. I can't trash this bad enough. Like it's probably not going to be the worst book I ever review. But it's wow. I did not like this at all. I can't suggest that you read it. I mean, again, this won the Hugo Award for Best Novel in 1982, a year that was easily capable of producing higher quality. But yeah, so Downbelow Station by c.j.cherryh. I don't suggest it. I didn't like it. I wouldn't read it again. I would not tell anybody else to read it. If somebody wanted to read it, I wouldn't even give them my copy. I would feel guilty afterwards that I gave them a copy of this book. Yeah, I'm not. And I'm going to never look at this review again because I know that part of me should feel guilty about trashing something that won a Hugo Award this badly, but this is not good. It's just I searched so hard to say like, oh, there's a redeemable thing. There isn't. Compared to other things that I've read, like just in general, there's nothing good about this. Nothing. It's just a slog through the mud, and not an enjoyable one. When you get to the end, you just go like, well, I'm glad that's over. So yeah, I don't know where they sell this book, and I don't suggest you ever buy it. So Amazon has it. That's where I got my copy. But I mean, just call it a day. Just call it a day and read Sci-Teen twice or something. Or I don't know, pick up a Philip K. Dick book or a Stanislaw Lem book or something, or something else c.j.cherryh wrote, because it could be better. Like Sci-Teen was good. So, like, I'm not saying this is a bad author. I'm saying this is a bad piece of work. I didn't like it. I couldn't think of anything good to say in this review. So I'm just saying the bad things, the things that made me angry, the things that I thought were flawed, and that was all of it. Like, some character development, some interesting aliens, and some actual things at stake would have been nice. It's not like that's just not everything, but it is. I mean, everything should have been better. Yeah, so that's it. I will see you guys next week for a review that can't possibly be this bad, because I haven't felt this angry about a book in a long time. Since The Star's my destination, probably. Maybe Babel 17. Wow, we'll be talking about those eventually anyway. So yes, so here's that. And again, I don't suggest you read this, but here it is. I did read it, so you don't have to. You guys take care, and I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.